Hi everyone, it's Karen Redman, the Mayor of the town of Gawler, and I'm downstairs in the Town Hall, or the Civic Centre, in the Walk of Honour, which is where our honour boards are, to commemorate people's service from our community of Gawler and the district during different wars that we've been involved in. And again, I'd like to welcome you, Jacinta Weiss, who's our Cultural Heritage Officer here at the town of Gawler, and we're going to talk about Remembrance Day because of course today is Remembrance Day, and we're standing in front of a number of roll of honours that commemorate people's service during World War I. And over here there's a Boer War memorial, but there's also memorial for May's Foundry, another one for May Brothers Foundry, but this one's quite exceptional from the town of Gawler. And so welcome, Jacinta. We're here going to have a chat about all things world wars, or just people's service and understanding how important it is to never forget, but also not celebrate war, but I guess commemorate and respect people's service and what that means to our community. So welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Redman.
So here we are. What do we know about this particular honour roll? It's the town of Gawler, 1914, and it commemorates the Great War. And as you can see, there's stars here that actually tell us who died in the war. Some of those stars, every now and again somebody souvenirs a star, but we do replace that. And there's also recognition of nurses and doctors on this particular memorial, which is quite important with their name for all of us to see their service. So yes, Jacinta, you've got some special items that you'd like to share with us, but before that, what do you think the 11th of November means to people?
I think that it's a remembrance of all of those who've served, and when we look at the Walk of Honour here at the Civic Centre and we see all of the people from Gawler who served in a variety of wars, predominantly we think of First World War on Remembrance Day, but we have a huge community that sacrificed a great deal for our lifestyle, our beliefs and our freedom in Australia. And I think this is the day that we acknowledge and remember those people. And it's lovely to bring family members who are coming to the Civic Centre to have a look at the Walk of Honour, to see their family members' name, to see that and be part of that quite emotional event for them. They realise that the town of Gawler, in maintaining these honour rolls and in putting them in pride of place here in the Civic Centre where the people can get up close and see them, that's very deeply affecting for those people, and it's lovely to see that and be a part of that.
I agree. I think that when the Civic Centre was being developed, this was very much part of the conversation, particularly with our local RSL, our local historians, people that really we valued their opinion, and we came to a position of let's put them here. So this is available for anyone to see when you come into the Civic Centre. It's downstairs in the Town Hall, and there's quite a number of honour boards here. As you said very, very well, pride of place, and you can get up really close and personal. You can really stand, reflect, look. There's an enormous amount of names here. It's quite humbling when you come here, and it really helps us all understand the contribution that this community has made over many years. So in a moment we're going to have a look at some special items that you'd like to share with people, Jacinta.
Yes, so at the Research Centre we have a reference library of books related to the wars, World War I and World War II, and they're really helpful for family historians who may be looking to further understand their particular relatives' military service. So they detail the battles, and there are photographs that aren't generally available. Some of these books are quite rare and special, only available at the National Library in Canberra, but we have copies of them here. So people are very welcome to come to the Research Centre and request those books, and we can provide them, and you can gain a more rounded understanding of your particular family member's service and their contribution.
So the research centre is part of the Cultural Heritage Centre, and it's developing quite a reputation as a centre of excellence, which is part of our vision for the Civic Centre, to develop our cultural heritage, but also connect that through to cultural tourism. So you may not live in Gawler, whoever's watching. You may have a connection with Gawler, you may want to research your history, or you just have an interest in history. Gawler's the first country town in South Australia, so we've been really, really fortunate in our previous community members, and some who are still with us, that collected and were custodians of the Gawler Heritage Collection, and there's a wealth of knowledge within that collection. So now we have the capacity through people like Jacinta to start researching, helping you research whatever it is that you're interested in, providing that guidance, and there may be items that really unlock the mystery of your questions, and we're also unlocking lots of mysteries, aren't we? There's so much in this collection, it's quite amazing.
That's very true, Mayor Redman. I think Gawler is a place of so many fascinating stories. It's just about which one are we concentrating on at the moment.
That's true. That's very true. It's a really, really interesting place, and I think we're very lucky in South Australia that we've been able to hold on, and we're lucky in Gawler that we've been able to hold on to this history, because sometimes it gets dispersed and you lose a lot. You lose provenance, you lose the history or the story, and our history is in fact our stories, and you're currently going through unravelling these stories.
We are, and the team of volunteers and staff at the Cultural Heritage Centre are constantly going through new documents and creating relationships to other documents or objects in the collection, getting a better understanding of why this document is here or what it relates to, where the information might be useful to current community members, what they might be interested in. So it's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle, and you bring pieces together constantly, and it's fascinating to do.
So what have we got here, Jacinta? I can see a book, I can see a poster, and I can see an Australian flag.
So Mayor Redman, what we have here is an item that was presented to the collection just recently. It's a book of King and Empire and all the South Australians who served at the time of the printing of this book in the First World War. What makes it particularly special is it has a great many photographs of battalions, and a lot of families from that time couldn't afford to have their soldiers photographed. It was a very expensive thing to do, and this book provides an opportunity to see their family relatives in uniform with their battalions. Unfortunately, they're not named, so you need to know what your family member looked like. But once you have a family resemblance, it's actually relatively easy to take a photograph of a person 40 years after they served and locate them within the files. So this is a very special book. It's a rare book. There is a copy in Canberra, but there aren't many copies around, and we have this available at the Research Centre as part of the Cultural Heritage Centre for people who are interested in looking at it, so they'd be very welcome to come and have a look.
So $1 shilling for the poster, and am I able to touch it? Yes. Oh, I don't want to do anything wrong. You know, I have washed my hands, by the way. I'll just very carefully. So as you can see, an ad for lion flour, that would cost a fortune these days. And then all the names for King and Empire. And as we go through, but not tear it. God, imagine if I did that. That'd be terrible. And you can see the names. And this is a complete inventory of people who served. And as you can see, the photographs. And these photographs are beautifully taken, of course, because they would have been done on a copper plate, probably. Yep. And look at that. Adelaide. It's unbelievable pictures in this book. Again, more battalions, more pictures, stunning photographs. I'm sure there's many families would have a connection to these photographs and these men that have had their photograph taken as part of their battalion and as part of their service. Where were they? Do we know much about where the photographs were taken? Were they taken in Adelaide, or you're not sure?
So I'm not sure. We haven't had a chance to look at that yet, but it is a project for one of our volunteers to give us a great deal more information about how this book was put together, why it was put together at that particular time. Was it a fundraising effort? Was it just to commemorate the soldiers and those people who were who had signed up? So that is a project that we'll be doing soon. So we'll hopefully gain a little bit more understanding of exactly how the book was produced and why it was produced.
So it says up here, the light and flame of youth, delight of men in the fray. Men who went to help their comrades. And right at the top, for King and Empire, South Australians in the fighting line. Yeah, it's...
very moving, isn't it?
Yeah, well it is, you know, so many years later. 102 years later. Yes. So you have another book that you're holding, and it looks like a very old book, and it's called The Story of Anzac. Is that right?
Yes. So this is a book by Charles Bean. Charles Bean was the official biographer of the war, and we have a collection of his books that cover all of the activities the Australians were involved in the First World War.
So a very important book, and it's quite unusual that we have such a collection. Do we know why we've got such a collection?
Yes, we do, because we have a great relationship and partnership with the RSL, and these books belong to the RSL, and the RSL were very concerned that they were available to the community, and our operating hours make that available to the community for great time opportunities to come in, and so the RSL have given them to the Cultural Heritage Centre and the Gawler Heritage Collection.
And I think that's a testament to the resource that we've put into the Cultural Heritage Centre and the Research Centre, that important local groups like the RSL have confidence and faith that we're going to be able to look after these books, and we've created a really wonderful space so we can do that.
We can, and we've got the right conditions, climatic conditions, storage, and skilled people to make sure that these books and items are available to the Gawler community 100 years from now. And that's important too. We want these to be accessible for all time.
So I feel quite privileged to even be near this book, knowing how I've heard a lot about Charles Bean. So I think it's really exciting that we have these items in our collection available for you to come and research, just to view, reflect. The Walk of Honour is here for you, for all of us who wish to reflect and acknowledge the people that have served for our communities. So I think that will do. Thank you so much once again, Jacinta, for coming along, and have a lovely day, everyone.